1257, 1257. Chapter 1257. Is he the Legion Commander's illegitimate son? Lin Moyu paid 100 million merit points to Yu Zhu as a deposit. If it's not enough, he'll ask her for more. As long as the total amount is within 2 billion, it's fine. Yu Zhu didn't expect Lin Moyu to trust her so much, giving her 100 million merit points just like that without any proof. Yu Zhu patted her chest and promised loudly that she would definitely help Lin Moyu find suitable materials. The whole process might take some time, and she would contact Lin Moyu once the materials were found. Lin Moyu knew that the materials he requested were not easy to find, and he would most likely have to go through the military. He could also exchange them with his military merits, but he didn't want to use his military merits. Military merits are not as easy to earn as merit points, and using them would lower his military rank. Using merit points doesn't affect the upgrade of his permission level. So he would use merit points as much as possible since he earned them too easily and didn't feel any heartache using them. After leaving the trading center, Lin Moyu went straight to the military merit office. He pondered the matter he had entrusted to Yu Zhu, wondering what kind of materials she could find for him.
Hopefully there will be sovereign-level materials.
This time, Lin Moyu wanted to enhance his elemental necromancer technique. Among all his spells, the elemental necromancer technique was currently the weakest link. Improving his realm had little effect on enhancing the elemental necromancer technique. To obtain a powerful elemental necromancer, he could only use high-level materials. When he awakened the spell, he had seen a demonstration of it. The elemental necromancer was very powerful, but he hadn't been able to unleash its full potential yet. Even the auxiliary functions had become increasingly useless. The black stones he obtained this time were also good materials, containing the laws of the black hole. However, a single black stone didn't contain enough of the black hole laws, so they needed to be purified and refined. He handed over all the thousands of black stones he obtained this time to Yu Zhu, asking her to find someone to purify and refine them, merging them into one piece. This should produce a decent quality material for summoning the elemental necromancer. Of course, Lin Moyu also knew that he was already very strong, far surpassing so-called geniuses. But who doesn't want to become even stronger? Especially after witnessing the existence in the black hole pit, Lin Moyu realized how truly weak he was. If he died, what would become of his 4 beloved wives sleeping in the coffin? They might never have a chance to wake up in this life. No matter the reason, he had to keep getting stronger, strong enough that no one could kill him, strong enough to defy heaven and alter fate. Lost in thought, Lin Moyu arrived at the military merit office. This time, at the counter for processing merit point exchanges for military merits, he didn't see Meng Gang. Meng Gang was in charge of the military merit office, but he had made a mistake last time and was punished by being assigned to handle specific tasks. After completing the mission, his achievements made up for his mistake, and he was reinstated to manage the military merit office. At the counter was an old acquaintance, Rong Jie, who was processing merit point and military merit exchanges for others. Lin Moyu waited for his turn and then stepped forward. Upon seeing Lin Moyu, Rong Jie immediately jumped up from his seat, standing straight and saluting Lin Moyu, shouting loudly,
"Captain?"
After just one mission, Rong Jie was completely convinced by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
"Don't be so excited. I just sold some things and need to exchange for merit points."
He handed over his battlefield token. Rong Jie respectfully received Lin Moyu's battlefield token with both hands, holding it like a treasure.
"Captain, please wait. I'll process it for you right away."
Lin Moyu smiled.
"Take your time, no rush."
Rong Jie's exaggerated reaction drew the attention of many people. While soldiers might not be overly respectful to ordinary cultivators, they would never be so polite to them either. Soldiers were usually stern and impartial, rarely showing smiles. Most people thought that's how soldiers should be. But now, seeing Rong Jie, they realized it wasn't the case. As long as they weren't fools, they could tell it was because of this young man's different identity. At Fortress Number 1, where people came and went, Lin Moyu was quite famous, but not everyone recognized him. Many people were guessing Lin Moyu's identity.
Who is this? Could he be a descendant of some big shot? Maybe he's an elder's illegitimate son. It's hard to say if he's a descendant of the Legion commander.
People let their imaginations run wild, guessing more and more outlandishly. Lin Moyu heard their guesses and felt a bit helpless, but he didn't mind. Being noticed was just being noticed, it didn't matter. It was like being the brightest star in the starry sky. When people looked up, the first thing they saw was the brightest one. Rong Jie worked quickly, verifying Lin Moyu's information. Lin Moyu's merit points were clear and straightforward, with no issues. Soon, the military merits accumulated, and Rong Jie returned the battlefield token to Lin Moyu, looking a bit embarrassed.
Captain, my apologies.
Lin Moyu knew what he meant. If it weren't for his unusual reaction, he wouldn't have drawn so much attention. He patted Rong Jie's shoulder.
It's fine, cultivate well. Maybe we'll have a chance to do missions together in the future.
Rong Jie nodded vigorously, smiling.
Yes, Captain.
Lin Moyu checked his military merits, which had reached 35,676. He was now a third-rank officer. The rewards from the 2 missions hadn't been issued yet. The special mission would reward 10,000 military merits, 1 contribution point, and 1 military supply point. Once the special reward came through, he would become a 4th-rank officer. Such a promotion speed was unimaginable for other soldiers. But that wasn't the main reward. The main rewards were the contribution point and military supply point. The use of contribution points had not been fully revealed yet, so he couldn't see their significance for now. However, Lin Moyu was clear about the function of military supply points. They could open the military supply warehouse and select an item at the same realm as himself. For this reason, he couldn't use them now. His current realm was too low, only at the True God realm. He couldn't obtain good items. Lin Moyu felt he should wait until he reached the sovereign realm before selecting items, so he could obtain sovereign-level treasures. Military supply points were too difficult to earn. He didn't know if he could earn more in the future, so he couldn't waste this opportunity. As Lin Moyu was leaving the military merit office, the discussions about him hadn't stopped. At that moment, a few people entered the military merit office, brushing past Lin Moyu. One of them looked at Lin Moyu's retreating back with surprise and said,
Hey, isn't that him?
Someone beside him immediately asked,
You know him? Lin Moyu, the number 1 on the potential list, the only person in 100 years to receive an honorary title from the military. How could I not know him?
The person said with a hint of pride, as if talking about himself. His words immediately caused an uproar.
He's Lin Moyu. The number 1 on the potential list, number 2 on the contribution list, and number 10 on the combat power list. The only one to receive an honorary title in 100 years. Wow, he's such an amazing guy, much more impressive than some big shot's descendant. No wonder I felt he had an extraordinary aura earlier. It turns out it was him.
Lin Moyu was indeed very famous, and many people present had heard of him. The news of Lin Moyu's appearance at Fortress No. 1 quickly spread. In the leisure area of Fortress No. 1, at a hotel, Zhang Ziyue was enjoying the unique cuisine of the battlefield. He suddenly received a message from a friend, and the corners of his mouth curved into a slight smile.
Lin Moyu, you've finally shown up.
1258 Chapter 1258. Are you Lin Moyu? The news of Lin Moyu's appearance in Fortress No. 1 spread like a stellar wind, quickly sweeping through the entire fortress. Many people, upon hearing the news, rushed to see this newly emerged top genius. In the restaurant where Zhang Ziyue was dining, several people slowly stood up, exuding a strong battle intent. The aura of God King Realm spread through the restaurant, attracting the attention of many.
What's happening? What are these people planning to do? Are they going to fight in the restaurant?
Several true God Realm cultivators turned pale under the impact of the God King Realm aura. Zhang Ziyue looked at the few people. He recognized them all. They were all strong individuals ranked in the top 30 of the combat power list. Zhang Ziyue was very proud and even somewhat conceited. He believed he could become a god sovereign and even surpass the god sovereign. He came from a prominent family and knew many things that outsiders didn't. He knew that the god sovereign was not the end. He also believed that one day he could become number one on all three lists. So he wasn't in a hurry to complete tasks to upgrade his permissions. For him, the priority was to improve his realm and combat power. Only by doing so could he become number one on all three lists. In the eyes of outsiders, Zhang Ziyue was very arrogant and proud, but his mind was actually very clear. He knew that no matter how talented he was still far behind those seniors on the combat power list. He was only at the 9th stage of True God, at most able to fight against a 1st stage God King. But those on the combat power list were at least at the 3rd stage of God King. Those ranked in the top 30 were at least at the 4th or 5th stage of God King. As for the top 10, each one could fight above their level, each one was a genius. They might be at the 4th or 5th stage of God King, but their combat power could reach the 6th or 7th stage of God King. Such people were not to be provoked for the time being. Zhang Ziyue was very clear and had a clear plan for his path forward. He was waiting for these people to advance to the 5th level permissions and leave the Vermilion Bird Star domain combat power list. He was waiting for his realm to improve, then he would do some tasks to increase his contributions. By then, even if he couldn't become number one on all three lists, he would at least be number one on 2 lists. Until Lin Moyu appeared, completely disrupting his plans. That's why he was so angry at the time, losing his mind and directly challenging Lin Moyu. Later, he gradually calmed down and realized he shouldn't have issued the challenge. He knew nothing about Lin Moyu, so how could he rashly issue a challenge? Fortunately, Lin Moyu didn't accept. Otherwise, with Lin Moyu's strength, he would have made a fool of himself. Later, Lin Moyu rushed into the top 10 of the combat power list and became 2nd on the contribution list, making him realize that challenging Lin Moyu was impossible. Moreover, Lin Moyu was shrouded in mystery. He didn't even know Lin Moyu's exact cultivation realm. But he guessed that Lin Moyu should be around the 3rd stage of God King with the ability to fight above his level, and his actual combat power was around the 5th stage of God King. This time, he came to Fortress number 1 to see Lin Moyu in person, to see what kind of divine being he was, so he could have a clear understanding. At the same time, he received news that many people in the top 30 of the combat power list were not convinced by Lin Moyu, the newcomer, and wanted to challenge him. The human emperor network was not always entirely accurate. As geniuses, they naturally had their pride. As soon as Lin Moyu appeared, someone immediately left the restaurant to find him. Zhang Ziyue was not in a hurry and followed them out. Along the way, Lin Moyu encountered many people who recognized him, leading to a lot of discussion. Lin Moyu didn't mind. He could feel the power of faith gathering towards him. The more famous he became, the more power of faith he received. The power of faith was useful. It was known that enough power of faith could accelerate the comprehension of laws. This alone was enough to make people flock to it. Entering the mission center, Lin Moyu checked the missions to see which one would be suitable for him next. He had only completed 3 official battlefield missions so far. The first was collecting stellar fire essence, the second was collecting beryllium, and the third was the recent mission to intercept the demon army. However, the reward for the third mission had not yet been issued, so it wasn't officially completed. The military rank promotion mission and the special mission should not be considered battlefield missions. The Human Emperor Network wouldn't play word games. If it wasn't, it wasn't. Before the mission reward was issued, he couldn't accept a new battlefield mission. So he was just looking for now, finding a suitable mission to accept once the reward was issued. He had completed 3 out of 5 battlefield missions, and the ratings should all be perfect. He was confident that he could perfectly complete the next 2 missions as well. Accumulating military merits was not a problem. He already had more military merits than many 5th or 6th stage God Kings. The most troublesome task for Lin Moyu was another mission: killing the top 10 on the bounty list. It wasn't that he couldn't kill them, but that he couldn't find them. These people were elusive and hard to locate. Lin Moyu pondered as he browsed the missions. Finally, he found a suitable mission. Now he just had to wait for the previous battlefield mission to end before he could accept a new one. Lin Moyu stepped aside from the mission platform, allowing others to use it. The mission center was crowded, with everyone lining up to use the mission platform. Suddenly, a group of people entered the mission center. The few people at the front exuded a strong God King realm aura. As soon as they entered, their eyes scanned the mission center, seemingly looking for someone. The sharp eyes of the God Kings quickly swept through the entire mission center, finally locking onto Lin Moyu.
They're here for me.
Lin Moyu also looked at them. From their aura, he sensed they were from the human star domain. The aura of the battlefield was different from that of the ordinary star domain. The ordinary star domain's aura was peaceful and stable, while the battlefield's aura was relatively mixed. When people entered the battlefield from the ordinary star domain, they would still carry the peaceful and stable aura of the ordinary star domain for a certain period. This aura would gradually be covered by the battlefield's aura and eventually disappear. This process took about 10 days. In other words, these people had entered the battlefield within the last 10 days. It seemed they had come specifically to find him. Lin Moyu quickly analyzed and judged the situation. As for why they came to find him, Lin Moyu could guess. They were likely unconvinced by his ranking and came to challenge him. Both the potential list and the combat power list had similar rules. The potential list allowed challenges within the same realm, witnessed by the Human Emperor Network. Whoever had stronger combat power within the same realm naturally had greater potential. The combat power list allowed unrestricted battles with fewer limitations. However, in both types of challenges, no magical treasures or similar items could be used. Only one's own combat power was relied upon. Both types of challenges were conducted within the Human Emperor Network, ensuring no life-threatening danger. Lin Moyu understood the purpose of the Human Emperor Network's rules. For the potential list, it was clear. Within the same realm, whoever was stronger had greater potential. The combat power list followed the same principle. The Human Emperor Network never claimed to be infallible, hence the challenge mechanism. If you were dissatisfied with the rankings, you could challenge them, as long as you were willing to pay the price.
Are you Lin Moyu?
A burly man over 2 meters tall glared at Lin Moyu. His gaze seemed fierce but lacked true killing intent. They were here to challenge, not to fight to the death. From his eyes, Lin Moyu further analyzed that this man had a hot temper, was easily angered, and lacked patience. Among the 7 or 8 people who came in, only he spoke. Lin Moyu glanced at him.
Let's talk outside.
With that, Lin Moyu quickly walked past him and left the mission center. 1259, 1259. Chapter 1259. The Eye-Catching Challenge. The mission center was crowded with people, and Lin Moyu didn't want to disturb others. Lin Moyu left the mission center, and the surroundings immediately became quieter. Although there were still many people, it was much better than before. The 7 or 8 people also followed Lin Moyu out, and the burly man asked again.
Are you Lin Moyu?
This person not only had a hot temper but was also impatient and lacked brains. Lin Moyu didn't know how such a person could cultivate to the God King realm. How could he comprehend the laws with such a temperament? Lin Moyu said in a low voice,
Keep your voice down, don't disturb others. You.
The burly man's face changed abruptly, his eyes emitting a red light, as if he was about to lose his temper immediately. At this moment, a palm pressed on the burly man's shoulder, and a man slightly shorter than the burly man said,
Huda, calm down first, let me speak.
A surge of laws rippled, and Lin Moyu felt a chill hitting him in the face. The palm pressing on the burly man's shoulder emitted a layer of frost, instantly covering the burly man's body with ice, causing him to calm down a bit. The water laws were controlled with great subtlety and ingenuity. It could not only calm the burly man down but also did not cause any harm to him. The tall and thin man said,
Let's skip the introductions. You can check our information yourself.
As he spoke, the group revealed their hidden information, displaying their names and cultivation levels. The hot-tempered burly man was called Huda, at the fourth stage of the God King realm. The thin and tall man who controlled the water laws was called Han Yu, also at the fourth stage of the God King realm. Lin Moyu had seen the names of these people on the combat power list, and as he had guessed, they had come to challenge him. Han Yu said,
Sorry about that. Huda was once infected by the fire laws during his cultivation, affecting his soul, so his temper is a bit hot-headed, but he means no harm.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I know.
He could sense that there was no killing intent in Huda's gaze, despite his bad temper.
Han Yu smiled slightly.
You must have guessed why we came to find you.
Lin Moyu could tell that Han Yu was very calm and intelligent, similar to himself. It was no wonder that Han Yu could judge that Lin Moyu had already guessed their purpose. Lin Moyu said,
Is it a challenge from the potential list or the combat power list?
When dealing with intelligent people, it was better to be straightforward without beating around the bush.
Han Yu smiled.
Either is fine.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I'm the same, but I have a condition.
Han Yu didn't seem surprised and smiled slightly.
The fee is negotiable.
As long as Lin Moyu agreed, the other details could be discussed.
Then let's go to the military arena.
Lin Moyu turned and walked towards the military's arena. There were 3 ways to challenge someone. The first was to enter the real-world arena and connect to the Human Emperor network. The second was to issue a challenge in the Human Emperor network, and if both parties agreed, the Human Emperor network would make the necessary arrangements. The third was to use a challenge token, which could only be used in areas covered by the Human Emperor network. However, challenge tokens were extremely precious and rare, so they were generally not used unless necessary. The second method was often ignored because if you challenge someone, they might not bother to respond. The first method was the best approach. Find the person in the real world, negotiate the fee, and then go to the real-world arena together to enter the Human Emperor network. The challenger would need to pay a corresponding fee to the challenged party. The fee amount could be negotiated between the 2 parties, usually paid in the form of merit points. The conversation between them was not deliberately concealed, and the people nearby had all heard the news. As veterans on the combat power list, Huda and the others were immediately recognized when they revealed their information. In an instant, the news that veterans from the combat power list were challenging Lin Moyu spread throughout the entire Fortress No. 1. A large number of spectators rushed towards the military arena, hoping to watch this challenge. Challenges at the arena were open to the public, and anyone could purchase a ticket to watch. The ticket price was determined by the Human Emperor network, clearly marked and fair to all. If you were willing to watch, you paid. If not, you could leave. No one was forcing you to watch. A challenge between combat power list veterans naturally attracted a lot of attention. In a blink of an eye, the identities of the challengers were also revealed. There were 8 people who came to challenge Lin Moyu this time. The leader was Han Yu, ranked 12th on the combat power list. Before Lin Moyu's appearance, he was ranked 11th but dropped 1 spot because of Lin Moyu. Next was Huda. Huda was originally ranked 10th on the combat power list but dropped to 11th due to Lin Moyu's sudden entry. The remaining 6 were also ranked near the top of the combat power list, with the lowest ranking being the highest. Without exception, these were all veteran powerhouses who had been on the combat power list for many years, possessing combat power that surpassed their own realms. They also had abundant combat experience and were considered invincible within the same realm. Naturally, they wouldn't accept the newcomer Lin Moyu. Combat didn't solely depend on one's realm. Experience was also crucial. The group arrived at the outskirts of the arena, where people had already gathered outside the military arena. The arrival of Lin Moyu's group immediately drew everyone's attention. Lin Moyu stopped in front of the arena and said,
Let's negotiate the challenge fee before entering.
Han Yu smiled slightly.
Of course, since we're the challengers, you can set the fee.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
You said it first. I'm afraid if I set it too high, you won't be able to accept it.
Han Yu thought for a moment.
Since we're all on the combat power list, if the challenge fee is too low, it will be laughable when it spreads out. Let's do this. Each of us will pay 100,000 merit points, Win or lose, these merit points will belong to you.
100,000 merit points were not a small amount for most cultivators. Even for a god king, it was a considerable sum. As Han Yu said, they were not ordinary god kings but powerhouses on the combat power list. If the challenge fee was too low, it would indeed be embarrassing when the news spread. However, they didn't know that to Lin Moyu 100,000 merit points were nothing. He had just given Yu Zhu 100 million merit points as a deposit. 8 people paying a total of 800,000 merit points didn't even amount to 1/10 of the deposit. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, not immediately agreeing. Huada's hot temper flared up again, and he let out a low growl, but before he could speak, Han Yu slapped him again. A layer of frost surged, forcefully suppressing Huada's temper. Han Yu asked,
Brother Lin, do you have any objections?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
Let's change the rules. I don't want your challenge fee. Let's bet merit points instead.
Han Yu's eyes flickered with a hint of surprise, and he asked curiously,
What kind of bet?
Lin Moyu said,
We'll use the merit points on me as the stake. If I lose, I'll give half of my merit points to the winner. If any of you lose, you'll pay me merit points equal to 1/10 of the amount on me.
The group quickly calculated the stakes in their minds, and this bet seemed a bit strange. Han Yu immediately understood Lin Moyu's intention.
It seems Brother Lin has quite a lot of merit points.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
Decent enough.
1,260. Chapter 1260. Prepare your points. Owing debt is unpleasant. Lin Moyu's thoughts were completely transparent to Han Yu. As soon as Han Yu heard it, he knew that Lin Moyu had at least 10 million points, because only in this way could Lin Moyu's benefits exceed the challenge fee. Every time Lin Moyu won, he would receive 1/10 of the challenger's points. If Lin Moyu had exactly 10 million points, he would receive 1 million points for each win, which would break even with their challenge fee. If Lin Moyu had 20 million points, then each win would earn him 2 million points. In other words, the more points Lin Moyu had, the more he would earn with each win. Han Yu guessed that Lin Moyu had at least 20 million points. Otherwise, he wouldn't have proposed such a bet. According to his thinking, only if the guaranteed benefit was more than double would he choose to gamble. Otherwise, why not just take the 8 million points? Moreover, every time Lin Moyu lost, he would have to pay half of his points, which is 1/2. In this way, the cost and benefit were completely disproportionate, at least a 5-fold difference. He would rather increase the risk several times to give up the immediate benefit and gain high-risk returns. This indicated that Lin Moyu had absolute confidence in winning, and he was inherently a risk-taker. Han Yu's eyes sparkled, and he saw a hint of a smile in Lin Moyu's eyes. This was an open scheme, laying all the cards on the table. 5-fold returns, the question was whether they dared to bet. Han Yu did not immediately agree.
Let us discuss it first.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
Please go ahead.
Han Yu and the others began to discuss, and Lin Moyu was confident that as long as they were normal people, they wouldn't refuse. Especially these geniuses on the combat power list, each one was full of confidence. If they didn't dare to agree, it would only prove that they were afraid. How could they be afraid, especially with 5-fold returns? Winning would earn them half of Lin Moyu's points, and losing would only cost them 1/10. This was a huge temptation. After a moment, they reached a conclusion. Han Yu said,
We agree to bet with you. Great. Let's go to the arena and establish the contract.
Lin Moyu led the way into the arena. Han Yu's eyes sparkled, and he whispered,
Let's go in.
Seeing Lin Moyu and the others enter the arena, everyone outside showed excited expressions. They waited for a while, and once the arena set the ticket price, they could buy tickets to enter. They just didn't know how much the ticket price would be, but it probably wouldn't be cheap. Inside the arena, a huge combat arena appeared before everyone. Soon, their battle would be projected in this arena by the Human Emperor Network. However, their actual battle would take place within the Human Emperor Network. The projection here was for the audience to watch. Outside the arena, a row of stone huts stood side by side. The huts were neat and square with no decorations, only a few numbers on them. From number 1 to number 100, there were exactly 100 huts. They would enter the huts later and then enter the Human Emperor network. This ensured that both sides would not be disturbed. The group connected to the Human Emperor network and established the contract. When the Human Emperor network confirmed the contract, the smile in Lin Moyu's eyes deepened. Seeing this, Han Yu's heart skipped a beat, feeling like he had been tricked. He suddenly realized that Lin Moyu might have a lot of points, possibly 50 million. If he really had 50 million points, they would have to pay 5 million points for each loss. 5 million points was not a small amount for them. It was the result of years of accumulation, and losing it would be painful. But then again, what if they won? The more points Lin Moyu had, the more they would earn. So, this was an open scheme driven by huge benefits. Lin Moyu had anticipated this outcome. With such huge benefits, normal people wouldn't refuse, especially smart people like Han Yu. Lin Moyu smiled.
Prepare your points. Don't run out of points and feel the pain of debt.
If they ran out of points, the Human Emperor network would allow them to owe Lin Moyu. At that time, every task and every benefit they earned would automatically transfer to Lin Moyu. Until the debt was paid off, they wouldn't have any benefits, and their permissions couldn't be upgraded. Moreover, the debt would accrue interest at a rate of 1/10 per year, which wasn't cheap. So, there was no such thing as being a big shot while owing money. The Human Emperor network wouldn't allow it. Huda roared.
Get lost. The only one who will lose is you.
Lin Moyu smiled and didn't respond.
Who will go first? Challenge the potential list or the combat power list?
It was clear that the 8 had already discussed it, and one of them said,
I'll go first.
This person was named by Tianzong, a third-stage God King, ranked 25th on the combat power list. Before Lin Moyu's sudden rise, he was ranked 24th. Lin Moyu smiled.
All right, what will you challenge?
Bai Tianzong glanced at Han Yu.
Since you are first on the potential list, I will challenge you on the combat power list.
Lin Moyu being first on the potential list indicated that his potential was undoubtedly strong. In a battle of the same realm, Bai Tianzong had no confidence, so he naturally chose the combat power list. Lin Moyu nodded.
As you wish.
Bai Tianzong continued.
I remember you jumped from 35th to 10th on the combat power list. I guess you must have obtained some powerful treasure. But unfortunately, in the Human Emperor network, you can't use any treasures.
Lin Moyu didn't respond, turning and walking towards a hut. At this moment, the number plates on 2 huts lit up, number 1 and number 2. Lin Moyu entered hut number 1, and the door closed with a bang. The formation inside the hut activated, and Lin Moyu's consciousness automatically entered the Human Emperor network, appearing in the Human Emperor arena. Lin Moyu was very familiar with the Human Emperor arena. Since the arena hadn't officially opened yet, he could only stand at the edge and couldn't enter. Bai Tianzong soon appeared on the other side of the arena, looking at Lin Moyu from across the stage. A mechanical voice from the Human Emperor network announced, "The challenge will begin in 3 minutes. The challenge has no time limit. Once it begins, it will only end when one side admits defeat, dies, or both sides agree to end it." The battles in the Human Emperor network were very straightforward. Since treasures couldn't be brought in, only personal combat power could be relied upon. Personal combat power consisted of realm and spells. The realm represented the understanding of laws, but each person's ability to manipulate laws varied. So there were differences in strength even within the same realm. Spells were the same, consisting of the ability to manipulate spells, the capacity to bear laws, and whether they were multi-star spells, among other factors. In the Human Emperor network, both sides could view each other's levels, and information couldn't be hidden. Bai Tianzong was a third-stage God King with no issues. When Bai Tianzong curiously checked Lin Moyu's information, he was stunned, his eyes widening like stars, unable to speak. Outside the arena in Fortress Number 1, the waiting crowd finally saw the ticket price. 10,000 points per ticket, not cheap. But it wasn't too expensive either. For those who mixed in the battlefield, this amount of points was manageable. Immediately, Everyone took out points to buy tickets. In the next second, they were transported into the arena, appearing in the audience seats. In the blink of an eye, the area outside the arena was empty, and the audience seats were packed. 1261, 1261. Chapter 1261. Why is he surprised? No one knows how many human cultivators are mixed in the battlefield, except for the Human Emperor Network. But this number is not small. Just look at the long lines every day at the places where battlefield tokens are issued and military merits are settled. The only arena in the fortress has 100,000 seats, and they are all full with no empty seats. If this were in the Human Star domain, everyone could enter the Human Emperor Network and watch the match in the virtual world, accommodating as many people as possible. But at this moment, they are on the battlefield, disconnected from the Human Star domain. Not only are they geographically disconnected, but even the Human Emperor Network is different. The Human Emperor Network covers this area, but its power is not as strong as in the Human Star domain, unable to accommodate so many people entering the Human Emperor Network simultaneously. So the Human Emperor Network projects the images of the challengers, allowing people to watch in reality. This way, the pressure on the Human Emperor Network is slightly reduced. Outside the arena, some people arrived late and found no seats, but it doesn't matter. If there are no seats, they can stand and watch. Everyone can fly, so standing in midair is not a problem. The arena's large formation rises, and as long as you buy a ticket, you can enter. Thus, the audience seats are full, and the sky is also filled with people standing. At least 150,000 people are watching this challenge. The duel between the strong on the combat power list is incredibly attractive. On the huge arena, the situation of both challengers is projected, with both standing at opposite ends, waiting for the challenge to begin. Above their heads are their names and their rankings on the combat power list. Challenger, Bai Tianzong, ranked 25th on the combat power list. Defender Lin Moyu, ranked 10th on the combat power list. In the center of the arena is a huge countdown, with 2 minutes left until the challenge begins. The arena is bustling, with everyone discussing. Most people are unfamiliar with Lin Moyu, the newcomer, and know nothing about his real situation, not even his laws or spells. But many people know Bai Tianzong, ranked 25th on the combat power list. He is an old god king realm powerhouse, having been on the combat power list for over 100 years with considerable fame.
Bai Tianzong excels in the Starlight Law. Although the Starlight Law is common, few can use it well. The Starlight Law can borrow the power of starlight in the great world. Its weakness is that its attack and defense are mediocre, but its advantage is minimal consumption, suitable for long-term battles. I've seen Bai Tianzong fight before. His control over the Starlight Law had reached a meticulous level 50 years ago. He must be even stronger now. The longer this battle drags on, the more advantageous it is for Bai Tianzong. I wonder how Lin Moyu will handle it and achieve a quick victory.
At this moment, many people became analysts and prophets, speculating and analyzing the strategies of both sides. Unfortunately, they knew too little about Lin Moyu, and most of their judgments were based on guesses. Someone then said curiously,
Bai Tianzong's expression seems a bit strange.
The Human Emperor Network projects all the images from the Human Emperor Arena in great detail, including the expressions of the characters inside, visible to everyone present. However, the projection only includes images, not sound. At this moment, Bai Tianzong's eyes were wide open, his eyeballs almost falling out, his mouth agape as if he wanted to say something but couldn't. Han Yu and the others standing below the stage also noticed Bai Tianzong's expression.
What did this guy see? He must have seen something unbelievable. We'll ask him after the battle ends. Boss Han Yu, do you think Tianzong can win this fight?
Han Yu pondered for a few seconds.
Even if he can't win, with Tianzong's ability, he can at least show us Lin Moyu's true strength.
He then added,
At least most of his strength.
Because of Bai Tianzong's expression, Han Yu also lost some confidence in this challenge. It wasn't that he didn't trust Bai Tianzong, but Bai Tianzong's expression was too exaggerated. So exaggerated that even he couldn't make an accurate judgment. He knew that Bai Tianzong must have seen something special to show such an expression. Han Yu fell into deep thought. Like Lin Moyu, he was a thoughtful person.
Now the challenge hasn't officially started, and there's little information to see. Tianzong must have seen Lin Moyu's cultivation realm. Is Lin Moyu's realm too high? No, if it were just a high realm, it wouldn't make Tianzong react like this. Besides, how high could his realm be? At most, the 6th stage of God King. So, it's because Lin Moyu's realm is too low. The lower the realm, the stronger the combat power, indicating Lin Moyu's ability to fight above his level, possibly by 3 or 4 stages. Lin Moyu's true realm should be around the 1st stage of God King. Only this would make Tianzong lose his composure. Yes, it must be this.
Han Yu quickly grasped the key issue. It wasn't that Lin Moyu's realm was too high, but too low. Lin Moyu was a super genius with astonishing combat power. In the human emperor arena, Bai Tianzong's expression remained unchanged for a long time. He saw Lin Moyu's true realm, the 7th stage of true God.
7th stage of true God. This guy is only at the 7th stage of true God. How is this possible? This is impossible.
A 7th stage true God entering the top 10 of the combat power list, with at least the combat power of a 5th stage God King. This wasn't just fighting above his level. It was cross-realm combat. It was like someone taking a running start and jumping 20 meters while you, standing still, jump 30 meters. It was simply unbelievable, almost a miracle. Bai Tianzong saw such a miracle. The human emperor network doesn't lie, and no one can hide their realm. Lin Moyu was indeed at the 7th stage of true God, and he indeed possessed such strong combat power. Bai Tianzong felt a sense of unreality, as if he were dreaming. It wasn't until 30 seconds before the battle began that he finally woke up from his dream. He knew what he had to do and changed his tactics. He no longer hoped to defeat Lin Moyu. He just wanted to use his ability to force out as much of Lin Moyu's true strength as possible. At the same time, he felt a bit unwilling. Both were geniuses, so why was the gap so large? He pondered his tactics, planning to use the minimal consumption advantage of the Starlight Law to delay as long as possible. With his 3rd stage God King realm and 4th stage God King combat power, he would delay as long as he could. His gaze gradually became firm, and his battle intent surged. The Starlight Law gradually condensed, making the entire arena brighter. Lin Moyu observed his changes in expression and roughly guessed his thoughts. Lin Moyu didn't care. Delay? Do you think you can delay as long as you want? How long you can delay depends on how long I want to play with you. But Lin Moyu didn't want to play now.
10 million points.
Lin Moyu whispered softly. The 30 seconds ended, and the battle began. The restriction between the two disappeared, and Bai Tianzong didn't rush over immediately. His law domain unfolded, and starlight fell from the sky, condensing into a shield. The shield enveloped Bai Tianzong, firmly protecting him, leaving no gaps. 1262.